Hey YouTube, it's Erin, and I am the Handbag Housewife, and I'm back again with another video. Today's video is going to be tackling a pretty tough topic, and that is how did I get into handbags and what my journey was like, and did it correspond with a midlife crisis? My friend Julie with Agent Bag Reviews and I have been knocking around this topic together, trying to figure out how to present our stories individually, and then we're going to tie them together in that after you watch this video, I encourage you to go watch hers because her path took some different turns than mine did. But my handbag journey really did correlate with the middle of my life because what you might call my current obsession, it started when I turned 40. And my husband was the trigger for that because he bought me my first Louis Vuitton bag. Before I get into all the details of my journey, I wanted to show you my bag of the day, and I also wanted to show you another bag that I got recently and some ways that I've modified it just for fun. So my bag of the day is my brand new, to me, Vavin PM with, I believe, the beige leather and the noir leather trim. This bag is super lightweight and very comfortable. I've been wearing it on the shoulder today and I'm just loving it. It's a great little bag and it's actually not that little. It holds surprisingly a lot. It's definitely more spacious than the Passy in my opinion, and that bag was plenty big for me as well. So before they're all gone, if you're interested, they are still available on the Louis Vuitton website in the Empreinte leather. And if you're abroad, you can still snag them in the damier ebene with the burgundy colored leather. I don't know what name it is, if it's Bordeaux or wine or what it is, but there's a color block combo that is available internationally, just not here in the United States, I don't think anymore. But that's my bag of the day. The bag I want to talk to you about though is my Twist MM. This is the Facets Twist MM, and what makes it facets is that the turn lock is faceted. If you can tell there, it's not rounded. And then on top of that, the chain that goes with the bag, it is also a faceted chain. And this bag is a lot heavier than your standard Twist because it's leather lined, because this turn lock is, I would say, probably 30 to 40% heftier than your normal Twist turn lock. And then this chain weighs like 9 ounces, so it weighs more than half a pound. And so because of all those factors, I have modified my bag to have a new chain, and this is the 11mm Rolo chain from Next Fashion. Paul from Next Fashion was generous and sent me 32 inches of chain to go on this bag to lighten my load a little bit. And you can get this chain, which is absolutely gorgeous, with a series of different closures on the end to attach it to any handbag. And you can see it's very similar to the Louis Vuitton chain that came with the bag. It is just smaller and therefore lighter weight. So with this chain, I'm able to reduce the weight of the bag by a little over ¼ pound, which makes a surprising amount of difference, believe it or not. Paul also sent me this gorgeous chain, and I weighed this one. This one weighs, I think, 7 ounces for 32 inches. So it didn't cut as much weight off as going with the 11mm Rolo chain. This chain weighed around 5 ounces for 32 inches. So this is the one I'm going with, not only because of the lighter weight, but also because if you look at the locks on the end that clip the strap to the hardware, this chain, the links match those clips. And so I really like how it preserves the original integrity of the bag more so than the candy box chain that I was using prior to this, or this other new chain that Paul sent me. This is the candy box chain that Paul has, and it is gorgeous on the twist as well. And this one comes in around, I think, 3.9 ounces, so it makes the bag even lighter. It just doesn't match like Chef's Kiss like that 11 millimeter Rolo chain does. But because of the way that this chain clips on and off of the leather brake, it is so easy for me to switch up the looks on my bag, whether I use one of these other two chains from Next Fashion or I use the Louis Vuitton chain itself. So thank you, Paul, for generously gifting me these different sections of chain. I've really enjoyed playing with them, and since this combo was the winner, I went ahead and made a charm to match out of the piece that I got with my bag, which was this little flower. I used one of Paul's little Louis Vuitton-esque clips and created my own little charm to match the chain, because this thing doesn't really hang super well with Louis Vuitton's clip. Surprise, surprise. So now it's even better, thanks to Next Fashion. I also forgot to mention one more charm that Paul sent me. This is his new Vision charm or Vision chain, and it's Vision because it looks like binoculars if you look at it. And so this is a new option he has on his website, and I think it's a really cute design, and I have it paired on my mini pochette from my multi-pochette accessoire, and I went ahead and put the pink strap on it, and I wanted to let you know that I am no longer selling this strap. I've decided I do love it, and I'm glad nobody took me up on it when I said it was for sale. So let me start the main part of the video by saying that Julie and I are friends, and we talk regularly, and we don't always talk about handbags, but they do come up a lot because we both like handbags quite a lot, if you couldn't tell. And in the process of our conversations, we've uncovered some similarities and differences in our lives and how handbags seem to have played a role. So that's where this topic was generated, was basically trying to figure out why we are the way we are and explain what we've done over the past 7 years or so. My journey, like I said, started when my husband gifted me my first Louis Vuitton bag when I turned 40. I've told that story in full, so I can link it down in the description box if you want to find out about that surprise. It was pretty cool. But I got the berry, and that was my first Louis Vuitton bag. And I don't know exactly why I developed an obsession at that point. I can only guess that it could have been somewhat related to the middle of my life happening, to maybe my kids needing me a little bit less because they were, I believe, around 8 and 10. Now they are currently 14 and 16. And so around 8 to 10 years of age, they weren't needing me for every little thing. I mean, they could go to the bathroom by themselves. They could do some of their homework by themselves. They self-entertained a lot, and that left me with free time. And in that free time, I found myself collecting. And I've always been a collector. I collected things like miniatures when I was growing up. I collected precious moments. I still have precious moments, because while I once thought those would be worth a lot of money, surprise, surprise, they're not, because a lot of these collecting tendencies we have that we think are going to be investments don't turn out to be investments in the long run. And I don't really think that the handbag collecting is going to be any different for me. But in the short term, these items that I'm collecting definitely do have value, and I'm able to trade and curate my collection by swapping out what doesn't work for me, by selling it, by trading it, and then getting things that do work for me. Losing money a lot of times, most of the time in the process, but also having some fun, and that's worth something to me as well. So when I turned 40 and I got the bag, then I started collecting Louis Vuitton. And it started basically based out of functionality. I wanted to buy bags to serve different needs. Like I wanted the pochette accessoire to be a pouch in my berry. I wanted the round coin purse to be a pouch in my berry. I wanted the zippy wallet to be a wallet in my berry. I had to get all of these things and I succeeded. Oh, and I wanted the key clay or the key pouch. And so I got all these things. I loved the pochette accessoire also as a little bag. And so I got that key pouch to use as a wallet primarily in that bag. But I also felt like the berry was a vachetta and monogram bag, so I needed something waterproof. So I explored into the world of Damier Ebene and I got the Duomo Hobo. And so I'm just going on down this path of psychotic Louis Vuitton collecting, and I'm watching YouTube videos because when I got my first Louis Vuitton handbag, I didn't know anything about it. So I started watching lots of Louis Vuitton videos on YouTube. These are some of the first videos on YouTube I've ever watched back when I'm around 40 years old. I got into the game late, yes, I know. And I am just absorbing all of the information, taking all this advice as if it were gospel and going forth and using it. I joined a lot of Louis Vuitton Facebook groups, and so I got information from those as well, and also the Purse Forum and Purse Blog. I joined those things and got information there as well. I tried to save money by buying Preloved, but I wasn't super successful at that point in doing the Preloved purchasing. At that point, I didn't know enough about the brand to protect myself and get items in condition like I wanted to have them. I know what to look for now, and back then I really didn't. And so I basically had some fails and I sold those fails. So they're not around anymore. I mean, I failed, I might have lost money, but they're gone. Those stories are done. Throughout my YouTube watching journey, I found people who were like me, who were buying leather from Saint Laurent and from Gucci. And I decided that maybe I had enough Louis Vuitton canvas, but I didn't want to pay Louis Vuitton leather price points. So I ventured into collecting Saint Laurent leather and Gucci leather, starting out with camera bags and the toy Lulu bag. I would get all these bags down for you and show them all, but it would take me like 3 years to film this video. So we're just going to talk it out. And I may take some pictures and insert them as I'm talking. That'll be a lot easier. So I bought, first I bought the Lou camera bag by Saint Laurent. Then I bought the toy Lulu. I bought these things really wanting the flap style small Lulu, but not wanting to spend the money. But doing it that way, I guess I really wanted all three of them, so it's all fine in the end. But I would advise you, if you have your heart set on something and you end up buying two things that cost the same amount as that one, you might have saved yourself some money in the long run if you just bought the thing you really wanted to start with. And that's something I didn't do. I entered into these brands buying the cheapest thing and then gradually moving up, either by selling, trading, or just buying. And just buying is what I did a lot of times. And so I ended up buying that earth gray Saint Laurent Lulu bag. And I bought a mixed envelope by Saint Laurent through a fabulous deal. I think I learned about it on YouTube. I bought it overseas through Net-a-Porter maybe. They had a currency exchange thing with Selfridges or Net-a-Porter or one of those websites where I was able to get it for like $1,600 or $1,700, which that bag was over $2,000. And so I got a great deal on it and ended up not liking it because it's so stiff and selling it. So as my journey is going along, I am basically figuring out what I like by buying it, and if it doesn't work, then selling it. And most of the time, I was able to find such good deals based on the advice I was getting from other YouTubers on where to buy, how to buy, that I didn't lose that much money when I went to sell. And I ventured into Preloved luxury with my Saint Laurent collage bag collection when I started it out, because I figured out that those bags didn't hold their value because of YouTube. So I learned from YouTube on this journey that there are certain brands that don't hold their value, and you're better off buying those brands pre-loved depending on the style. And the collage bag, it was better to buy it pre-loved in most cases. But like if you looked at, say, the Luke Hammer bag when I bought it, or the Gucci Small Marmont, it was honestly better for me to get it from a department store or from a reseller than to buy it pre-loved, because they were the same price. So why not get a new bag? But things have changed, you know, as we've been along the way. Some brands are part of department store promotions, and you can figure that out through YouTube because YouTube knows everything. And some brands aren't. And so I just absorb all this information. If I hear about a great deal, I go get it. And so that's how I have kind of amassed the collection I have. But my luxury collecting ended about the time that I was selling my mixed envelope from Saint Laurent, as well as a few other pieces that I can't remember anymore. And that was around 2019. So started out 2017, did a lot of mad luxury collecting, including Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Saint Laurent. And then in 2019 or early 2020, when the pandemic hit, that's when I started selling a lot of luxury bags and buying contemporary bags. And you all don't know about this phase of my collecting because I didn't start my YouTube channel until 2022. So we're talking about like basically 5 years before I started this channel. I'm watching YouTube a lot during these 5 years, but I'm not sharing it on a platform like this. So in 2020, I started feeling really guilty about spending money on luxury bags, and I decided I wasn't going to buy bags because I didn't need any, and I was worried that something might happen with my husband's employment. He might get sick from the pandemic and not be able to work. I didn't know if his job would still be around for sure, and it was a concern. So I started out not really buying anything, and then I figured out I'm going to just sell some luxury bags so that I can buy Coach bags or Longchamp bags. It started out with Coach, and so that's what I did. I started collecting Coach. I joined a bunch of Coach Facebook groups, and through these Facebook groups, I learned a lot about getting good deals on Coach. Now, this wasn't my first exposure to Coach. I kind of went back to Coach because in my youth, I used to collect Coach a little bit. I mean, I never had more than like 5 or 6 bags, but I would buy 1 or 2 a year, use it like heck, kind of wear it out so where I didn't want to use it anymore, and then give it away or donate it and get a new one. Most of my Coach bags prior to age 40, they were bought at the outlet. I was always excited if I could get one that came from the retail boutique, but sometimes I got ones that weren't from the retail boutique, and I always kind of made sure that they felt like they were from the retail boutique. And I don't know if I just had a discerning eye or I tricked myself into thinking that they were as good, but I always felt like the outlet quality was pretty comparable to retail in terms of at least what I bought. I don't feel that way anymore, so it may have just been lack of knowledge on my part. But after I had went through this whole few years of collecting luxury and I went back to Coach, I figured out that Coach has pretty darn good quality. And I started collecting bags from the 1941 line, from the retail boutique, and from resellers on Facebook and Poshmark and Mercari and eBay sometimes. And I amassed quite a big collection of Coach bags. And I bought a ton of Cassie bags, and I bought a ton of the Rogue bags. And you haven't ever seen my Rogue collection because it was all gone when I started YouTube. But I was buying Rogue bags like a crazy lady, a lot like I bought Longchamp bags when I started my YouTube channel. I think I had maybe 25 Coach Rogues at one time, and I don't anymore. But I bought a lot of them, and then I figured out that the style wasn't my favorite anymore, and then I sold them all. And that was actually a pretty darn good investment because those Coach Rogue bags, they were hot commodities. So I didn't lose any money on those, I don't think. I mean, overall, I might have made just a little bit of money. Not much, but just a little bit, which is pretty darn good when it comes to buying and selling handbags. The buying and selling that I've done has been pretty much all through Facebook groups before I started my YouTube channel. Now that I have this platform, I do sell through my YouTube channel mostly, but I still do post a little bit on some of the Facebook groups from time to time. I'm already tired talking about all this. I can't imagine how you all are feeling listening to it. This is quite a topic. As far as correlating it to what was going on in my life at the time, it's really hard. I mean, my life seems to not have had any big twists or turns. My kids are always doing sports. They have excellent grades. So that's never been something that I've been worried about. We've always run around a lot with sports, and now we're into junior high and high school sports. So we're running around even more. And we've been on various travel teams where our weekends were all taken up. We're not at that stage anymore. We're primarily during the week now, which is nice. But at that time, I mean, I was basically either doing kids stuff or exercising for like 4 or 5 years and maintaining the house. And so the bag collecting was definitely an escape for me. It was something I did for fun. I had friends through the Facebook groups I was part of that I chatted with, and it was fun to have adults to chat with, because when your kids are doing sports, it's really hard to keep friends because you're always busy. And the friends you make, they're the kids' parents on whatever team that you're currently on. And if you don't make a whole lot of effort to maintain those relationships, they kind of go away until you see them the next time around. And so our social life consisted of talking to the parents at kids' sports events, and then also my interaction with people talking about handbags. And most of those relationships that I developed through the Coach Facebook groups and those Louis Vuitton Facebook groups have went away. They're not even people that I communicate with anymore, although there are a few that I reach out to from time to time. I would certainly welcome any of the people I've communicated with to reach out to me anytime, because I had wonderful chats with a lot of wonderful people through those groups about handbags over the years. And they really got me through just the daily grind and gave me something that was just for me. And that was pretty cool. So while I was collecting luxury bags, I was watching luxury YouTube. And when I started collecting Coach bags, I started watching more like Coach and contemporary YouTube. One of the main people I like to watch was Coach Craze. And Alana and I became friends, and she helped me get into this Facebook group called CGR, Coach Gone Rogue. And I loved that group. I collected a lot of bags because of that group, and also made a lot of friends who I talked to quite frequently because of that group. And as I've started collecting luxury again, some of those friendships have dwindled a bit, but like I said, I would love to speak to any of those ladies again if they ever wanted to reach out to me. I would say in late 2021, I started getting a little bit tired of collecting Coach and got into Longchamp, a lot because of Joshy Michael and his videos. He will forever be the Longchamp king, but I got into watching his videos, and I got into collecting Longchamp extra small bags, and I fell out of love with the Rogue, so the Rogues went away. And my son was pushing me to start a YouTube channel because I liked handbags so much. And so that's what I did. I started a YouTube channel. And my YouTube channel started around the time I was collecting Longchamp extra small bags. I never bought a bag because of my YouTube channel. And in fact, I would say getting views with luxury handbag videos is a lot harder than getting views with Coach or Longchamp handbag videos. So the direction I've taken, where I have sold a lot of my Coach bags and sold a lot of my Longchamp bags and expanded my luxury handbag collection, has made it harder for me to do YouTube. It's really kind of starting to take off now, and I'm delighted. It's something I hoped would happen, but during the videos where I talked about new Coach bags, new Longchamp bags, it was easy. Man, the views just went up and up and up. I got lots of time watched. It was great. But when I was doing those videos, I was doing them because I truly loved what I was showing you, what I was wearing. It wasn't because I was getting the views that I was unboxing Longchamp bags or Coach bags. It was because I was having a ball, and I'm still having a ball. And if this all becomes not fun at some point, I'm going to stop, because it's just not worth the time it takes to do it. YouTube is pretty much a job if you put out videos regularly. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of thought takes a lot of organization. It takes a lot of planning. And then you've got the comments coming in, which if you're a good YouTuber, I think you take time and you reply to those. So when I started my channel, I was into kind of the more contemporary brands. And I did that for most of the first year, if not a little more than the first year. And then in my second year, which I am just completing, I really have shifted more into the luxury realm. I think that happened because I got overwhelmed. I had over 125 bags, and that was too many. And so I started thinking I could sell, 3 or 4 bags and get 1 luxury bag. And I did that. And it was great. I loved it. And then I did it again, and I did it again. And look what I have. I've reduced it from having over 125 bags to, I would guess, around 75. I haven't counted this week. It's a fluctuating thing on a regular basis, but I've reduced my number of bags substantially. My closet is less cluttered, although if you look around me, you would say this is a really cluttered closet, but this is just what space I have to work with, and I like what I have in it. So what can I say? I will tell you, my bags are for the most part facing forward and visible. And there was some time where everything was turned sideways on the shelf to fit in, and I didn't like that. It felt overwhelming. And so I think that's part of the reason I shifted to luxury bags. Another part of the reason is that I discovered the Preloved luxury market to a much greater extent through watching YouTube, through other YouTubers telling me about Rebag and Fashion File, and not so much eBay, but I've discovered that eBay is great recently with their new authentication program. I really like eBay for shopping Preloved. And I went from thinking Preloved is sort of a dirty thing. Like, I don't want to buy these bags Preloved because they're yucky, disgusting. It grosses me out that somebody could have had dirty hands inside the bag, to being like, this is where it's at. You can get these bags in like new, pristine condition for 30% or 50% less than what you would pay going into the boutique. And so that, coupled with the fact that I had too many contemporary bags, has made it where I've been able to curate a luxury handbag collection. The other thing to keep in mind is I am treating YouTube as a business, because you never know. I could make a big break and have views like other huge YouTubers like Jerusha Couture or LV Lover CC. It could happen. I could have a viral video, and if I did, then this would become a real source of income. I just looked at my YouTube income for the last year of 2023, and it was, I think, $6,377 for the whole year. So around $500 a month. That's not a real income. It's nice cash to have, but it's not a real income to support my family. It does buy at least 2 or 3 really nice bags, though. Keep in mind, I also had income from other sources, such as Magic Links, and a new source that I have is LTK, and I'll be getting my first payment from Like to Know It sometime soon, as well as brand collaborations that I've done with multiple brands. And so the income that I've generated has been nice, but it hasn't in any way offset the expense of building this handbag collection. And so the way I understand it with a business like this is you can operate at a loss for 3 years. And then after that point, you can't operate at a loss anymore. So you can only deduct expenses such as handbag purchases, which are inventory for me to show you here on the channel. You can only deduct things like that for 3 years. And then after that point, you can only deduct those items if you have income to offset against them. And I will have income to offset against some of these bags, but certainly not the amount that I've bought. So this next year for me is going to be a real test to see if this YouTube channel is a successful business or it's a hobby. I do feel like I'm not going to be buying as much this year because my collection is so complete and I have so many of my bases covered. Although what you're going to see over last week and the next week or two may make you think otherwise, because I do have a few items coming. But once that's done, I I just don't know that my journey is going to continue at such a frenzy. I'm hoping to evolve my channel into more of a discussion-based, topic-based, review-based, comparison-based, fashion-type channel where we talk about the things we love and curate them to a smaller extent, to have less selling and less buying. And so I hope you all will be here for me with that, but it's certainly going to be a process that I'm going to have to get used to. It used to be I could walk into my closet and find things to sell. And now when I walk into my closet, it's really hard because every time I look at something in here, I have to think, do I like whatever that other thing is that I want more than what I would have to give up to get it? And in most cases, the answer is no, I don't. And then there are a few exceptions. Now, I told you I just bought this bag. I didn't trade anything. I didn't sell anything to get it. This was kind of an exception. But lately, when I've bought things, I've been selling things or trading things to get whatever the new thing is. This one was kind of an exception for me. I didn't mind increasing my total number of handbags to get this bag because I've always looked at the dune color that Louis Vuitton has in the Pochette Métis, as well as some other styles, but the Pochette Métis is the one that comes to mind. And it's sort of a camel type shade. And that is something I don't have much of in my collection, a camel type shade like this. And so I loved that this bag offered features of the passy, which I miss having, but it had that flaw here with the joint. It has the color that I love, and it also has the canvas that I love. I love Monogram and the Damier Ebene canvas the best. And it's an all-weather bag, which I love. It's lightweight. So this one had so many things going for it that I didn't feel like I needed to give something else up to get it. But it's the exception. At the stage I'm at, I'm feeling like more and more I need to give something else up to get something different or new. And if I'm going to give something up to get something new, I have to think long and hard about it, because is it going to be something that I miss that I'm going to want to buy back? Is the only reason I'm wanting to sell something to get something, the new and shiny thing, and once I get that thing, I'm not going to be happy with it? I mean, you really have to figure out, is it the buying of something, the endorphin rush of getting that something that's making you want to sell something or trade something to get that new thing? Or do you really want that new thing? And so this is kind of a current struggle for me, trying to figure out what I'm really trying to do if I'm buying and selling. Am I doing it just for the rush of the purchase? Or am I doing it because it's something I'm truly going to love and enjoy? And I'm not saying I'm perfect at doing this, because I'm certainly not. I make mistakes quite frequently, but I think I'm getting better at it. And you know, fingers crossed that that's the case. I can't tell you for sure. I'm only human, but at this stage, I think my plan is going forward to buy less, to have more thoughtful additions to my collection. I'm still not going to buy for YouTube views. So, you know, even if at one time I did a lot of unboxings, it wasn't because of getting YouTube views. Now, YouTube might have caused me to buy some of those things because I watched videos on things and was influenced to want those things. But I wasn't buying them to do a video. I was buying them because I had this burning desire to have them, which it's not necessarily healthy, but it was sort of therapeutic. And I think Julie may mention this in her video a little bit, that this was her escape to buy things that she loved, and it helped her get through some tough times. And for me, psychologically, it does give you a burst of joy when you get something new or when you buy something new. It also is exciting to sell things because you're moving them on and you're recouping, hopefully, what you put into them, or most of it, and then using that to get something new and different and special. I guess, you know, what you could kind of compare it to would be high school sports. when I did high school sports, I was a runner. I ran track and cross country, and I would work hard, and then I would run a race and I would get a reward. I would get the endorphin rush. And then when I went into the workforce, I worked hard, and then, you know, at the end of the year, I usually did well, and I would get some sort of award, and I would get the endorphin rush. Well, now as a stay-at-home mom, the endorphin rushes I get from being a mom are when my kids tell me that they like what I cooked for them for dinner, or I see my kid score on the basketball court, or when my kid brings me home their grade card and they have all A's, or when they make the gifted program. I mean, these are my endorphin rushes, and they're all around my kids, which is fine. But it's cool to get endorphin rushes all on my own through doing YouTube. This has been quite a journey for me to do YouTube and to develop a following like I have. I appreciate each and every one of you. I'm almost to 6,000 subscribers, which is amazing. And I've had over 1 million views for quite a long time. To go that far down this path and to have such a big community of like-minded individuals to share this collecting love, to share this love of handbags with, it's amazing. I just got goosebumps talking about it. It makes me feel accomplished. It makes me feel happy. It gives me a sense of satisfaction that I was missing when I wasn't working in the workforce anymore. It sort of is replacing those feelings that I used to have that gave me an individual identity. And it's all revolving around handbags, which I would never, before the age of 40, would have thought I would care so much about handbags, but I do. I also love jewelry too, by the way. I'm kind of obsessed about jewelry too, but we don't talk about that much here. The other thing that I get from doing this channel and being where I am in my life is I've developed some extremely close friendships with other YouTubers and a few subscribers as well. And I really cherish those friendships. And among the other YouTubers are Julie with Asian Bag Reviews. Don't forget to go watch her video as soon as I'm done here. I hopefully will be done soon. My voice is getting hoarse. And Joshy Michael. I talk with both of those individuals quite frequently. And we talk about life. We talk about bags. We talk about our kids. Well, Joshy doesn't have kids, but he has dog kids. He's got like 6, I think 6. He used to have 5 and he just got a new puppy. So I think he has 6 dogs now and a husband. And so we talk about all those things and we have a ball doing it. And that gives me so much pleasure to have those well-rounded friendships. I've went on trips with both of them. It's super cool. And again, friendships with those of you who I interact with on email, DMs on Instagram, I've thoroughly enjoyed those. Those fulfill my life in ways that I never thought possible. That human connection, it gets lost sometimes when you are a stay-at-home mom because you're isolated. And so this channel has given me that, and it's evolved me along this journey because of that. And so I'm very grateful and feel very blessed that I've received everything I have by doing a YouTube channel. And I hope that it continues to be worth doing because it's been a ride. I've loved it. I've got at least a year left and we'll see how things are then. I'm going to assess everything at the end of 2024 and figure out if this journey will continue. Because if it doesn't, I may move on to something new and something different. I hope this video hasn't been too crazily long-winded for you and that you've gotten something from it and have enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a big thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Do it and ring the notification bell so that you are notified of future exciting content such as this. Also, go find me on Instagram. The name there's the same. It's the @ then the Handbag Housewife, all lowercase. You can DM me there or you can email me at thehandbaghousewife@gmail.com. If I don't hear from you, I will see you again real soon. Take care and have a fabulous day. Bye.